Hey guys, welcome to week 4, assignment 2, video critique. Week 4 already, that's crazy. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at Guillermo's work, at Shannon's work, at Ashley's work, and at DJ's work. And this time around, it is the perspective assignment, the exaggerated scale assignment, I should say. So in this one, you did forced perspective in your camera, where you made something look bigger than something else by having it closer to the camera. And then you also composited, so that you had basically taking elements from one image and putting them in another, and then scaling those to make them look larger. So we're going to start off here with Guillermo. And let's start with... Alright, here. I hate that thing. Alright, so we got some pretty interesting effects. Now, is this the same house? It seems like you had a lot of snow before and now it's all gone. I guess I'll probably look at the thing and tell, but our snow is definitely not gone here. We have gotten about a foot of snow in the last week. Not that that has anything to do with the critique, but just want everyone to know that, yeah, I'm kind of buried. But that's okay. Alright, so we have the elements here that are going to make up the pictures, if I recall correctly. Ooh, and we have a very kind of stylized view of this bottle of Hennessy in the backyard. You just think, what is this, like an ibex or something? Like it should be in Africa, I don't know. Alright, so we have some different stylized views of there. Alright, so here's one where your little dog is at a Bichon. My sister-in-law used to have a Bichon, looked just like this, but I'm not good with dog breeds. Anyway, so the Bichon is huge, bigger than this ibex or pronghorn or whatever it is. Alright, you have one. This makes me think of like one of those old 50s and 60s horror movies, Attack of the Bichons or something. Now, because this is something that I do a lot in my personal work, you know, in just a lot of different things, I'm gonna just point out things that you can do if you like this sort of thing and you want to keep on going with it. You know, so how to make these look more or less flawless. So in these, like, what I would say is that the lighting is slightly different, so that's one thing that kind of gives away. And if you want to have this, you probably want to have like a shadow, which you can just do by you just make a layer, and you know, you can actually like make a clear layer, paint on it black with your paintbrush, and then you can adjust the opacity until it looks correct on there. But it'd be the sort of thing where you look at the direction that the shadows are going in the image, which is sort of this way, and then you would kind of just come in and paint a little something in there just to kind of give the, it doesn't even have to be all that good, but it gives the viewer the impression that, you know, it's actually there. This, I think, works a little bit better because the sort of tinting effect hides some of that slight light difference. And now this, okay, this is composite, as you can see the slight roughness around there, but the light is a pretty good match in my opinion, and even more so when you add this. So if you'd even like just slightly smooth this out, you know, again, apply a layer mask like we were talking about, like some of you wrote about in the discussions, so just smooth that out a little bit, it would be pretty convincing. And then tiny dog, or very large bottle of Hennessy. I do think that you can get some fun results. I think out of all these, I probably like this one the most, just because I do like sort of whimsical, fun images, and that definitely qualifies. So nice work. Excuse me. Up next, we have Shannon's work. And Shannon also included a picture of how she got her forced perspective. So I'm going to start at the top. I do like when, for this assignment, that people do this, where you just have a side-by-side that kind of gives the impression of what the difference in scale is. So you have image 1, I'm assuming of the two that she's going to composite together. There's image 2. Alright, and even though this was quite a bit larger, she made them the same size using composite. And pretty good composite. I'm just going to zoom in here for a sec. Yeah, usually if you have like something that's fairly hard and smooth, like smooth edges like this, you can use sometimes like the quick selection tool or the magic wand tool if it's like this where it's kind of all the same color and the same color range with a very different color in the background. A lot of times you can get away with using the magic wand tool. I usually use the quick selection tool for something like this. And you can also, talking about layer mask, you can select also just more of a rough selection around it, and then, you know, composite it onto this background image and come in with your brush and sort of, you can play with those edges. So again, and this is also smart because she's getting rid of a couple of things that often trip people up. She shot it in the same lighting conditions. That's always a plus. There's not really a shadow, you know, because of the perspective, the point of view she shot it at, so you don't have to worry about shadows. And she used a fairly relatively easy object to select. Although, I don't know if that's in there, but that's really picky. Well, it is sort of. Alright, anyway, nice job on that. And I'm actually gonna, okay, I'm getting a little bit of lag here. So, and then she has this where she's made the smaller image, the smaller of the two figures larger through perspective. Again, with this you want to have the maximum depth of field that you can achieve, because it really sells that illusion quite a bit. And there she put it in the thing, kind of just some toning effects, right? So she made it black and white, and then selectively came in here and colored certain things. That's a pretty cool effect. I also wanted to, I thought that this was cool that she included this. So this is her, she sort of shot that forced perspective one from another angle so you could get an idea of, this is not cooperating. Oops, okay, too much. But you can get an idea of like exactly how far apart these two things were that she composited together. So yeah, I would say overall the one that works the best, the one that is the best illusion is probably this. Although I do like with the one that we just skipped away from, this last one, that's sort of black and white with the color effect. I think that works pretty well on this. So yeah, if you had, I mean, this is nearly perfect. If you just had a slightly more depth of field so we could get this also in focus, that would be pretty much dead on. So yeah, nice work, Shannon. And up next, we're going to look at Ashley's work. I thought this was a lot of fun. So she used scale here. This baby is, I'm sorry, she used forced perspective to achieve this scale effect. This is a bigger baby, but it's placed further away. Pretty good. Again, I would say slightly more depth of field would really make this work, but I actually had a hard time at first figuring out, I'm like, camera scale, is this the in-camera scale one? Because I couldn't tell from this image like how big this thing was, and I was looking at the one where she's showing the two. It looks to me like it's quite a bit larger than that. And then I like her final image. I thought that was really bizarre, but in a good way. I like both of these versions actually. I think this is really cool. So this is a pretty good job of compositing. It's really, you can see it's really kind of tight. At first I thought this was real. I was like, so she didn't composite it, and then I saw it was composite, and then I had to kind of go back and be like, okay, well this is actually much larger than this egg. It would not have fit in there. So you fooled me, and I do this a lot. So nice work. I think especially here, like it's really pretty good. You can see, I mean, there's nothing like giving it away. Like the edges are pretty much right on. There's nothing that I'm seeing here that looks, yeah, I mean, nothing's giving it away. It's really a pretty solid illusion. And I like this kind of bizarre like idea of this plastic baby coming out of a real egg. Like, I don't know, I think there's like some potential for a really weird or interesting narrative. Or it's just a standalone image and you could I don't know. I mean, you could see this as an ad for something, you know, like accept no substitutions or whatever. I don't know. So there's, I think, a lot of different potential for stuff here with this kind of weird, enigmatic image. And it's really well put together. So once again, nice work, Ashley. And then last but certainly not least, we have DJ. And DJ, again, he put together some fun images here. So you have the forced perspective scale in the camera. Again, I would say if this was just a little bit sharper, that would be like a pretty tight image. Tight in terms of like, looks good. Although, having said tight, I think it could probably be cropped slightly. But I do like that idea quite a bit. That you would be lighting this guy's cigarette from a giant flame. And then he kind of, this sort of made me think less of like old movies from the 50s and 60s and more of like the movie posters, because it's like a really kind of fun thing here. Sorry, I'm just kind of skipping through here because I wanted to get to the final one where he puts them together. So you have, alright. No, I thought that was pretty good. The only thing that's maybe giving away is that there's a slight difference in focus. So, like, this is actually pretty right on. This is kind of similar to some of the stuff I've done too, where, like, if you come in here and, this is going to be on a different layer than this. If you slightly turn down the contrast on it, because a lot of times we'll get it to match that, and so turn down the contrast slightly, and you can maybe blur it ever so slightly, but this is not really blurred. It's just, I think, slightly different lighting, so this looks a little contrastier than that. Having said that, I thought that this was a really fun illusion. It really is, I mean, for the level that you're at, it's actually a pretty advanced job of compositing. Yeah, I thought that looked great. That turned out great. And like little things like that sell this is like he's looking in the right place. Like sometimes you'll have like an image like this, but the guy will be looking like downward when the hand is up, or so eye lines sell it. Having a good job of compositing sells it. But yeah, I think that that's really kind of fun. Hopefully your model friend here will want a copy of this, and you can give it to him and be like, there you go, dude. So yeah, nice job, everybody, all around. I thought this was a pretty solid group of assignments. So for the word that you should write to let me know, post it below here. I'm sorry. The image got a little sidetracked there. The word that you should post below here to let me know that you watched the entire thing is dragon, as in the big fiery mythical beast, the dragon. I don't know, I'm just kind of randomly. That's why I was stalling, this, because I'm trying to come up with any word that made sense. So, dragon. Ha. Work that into a sentence. I dare you. Or do like I'm trying to think who did last time. Maybe Ashley. Like just wrote like, I'm not feeling creative now, so I'm just going to say the word and then type the word, whatever it was. That made me chuckle. All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.